good. When it all happened, I was filming away. So, there was, I'm like the rock of the family, especially when it comes to, times where it's like family is really needed, and now I think I'm back.
This story never actually cooled off. It just went quiet. And that's the dangerous part. Because now there's talk Quincy Brown may be working on a doc-style project around Kim Porter's timeline, with 50 Cent connected. If that's true, it's not just discussion anymore. It's a reset. This update hit different, especially for people who felt like the story got brushed past. Because that 50 Cent Diddy documentary, it barely touched the questions people still have about what happened with Kim Porter. And that quiet gap didn't calm anything down. It did the opposite. The internet kept talking, but it was all whispers, until now. Because the word going around is Kim's oldest son, Quincy Brown, might be linking up with 50 Cent on a new series-style rollout that puts Kim front and center. That rumor alone set the timeline on fire, especially because people still remember Quincy showing up at Diddy's trial for only one day. One appearance, then gone. To some, that looked like silent loyalty. To others, it looked calculated. Here's what stands out. Quincy never went online playing defense. No speeches, no emotional posts, no messy back and forth. He didn't move loud. He didn't move sloppy. He stayed calm, stayed controlled, and kept his distance. And that already separated him from the chaos around this whole situation. And people keep pointing out another detail too. Unlike other names that have been pulled into lawsuits and public accusations tied to Diddy's headlines, Quincy hasn't been personally accused of wrongdoing in the public record. That clean image is exactly why some people see him as the different one, even though Diddy helped raise him. Now the conversation is shifting into strategy talk, because some reports and online theories frame Quincy's silence like a move, not weakness. Like he stayed close just long enough to keep an eye on his sisters and avoid the splash zone while everything was still unstable.
I don't mean to be the super big brother dad, but this is nuts. I might record the whole ride. Might run out of storage.
I forgot my license is in my knee.
Oh, you need that. What'd you get?
My license.
And what do you need to drive?
Then Diddy gets locked up, and the energy changes. With Diddy now behind bars, people believe Quincy may finally be in a position to tell the story the way he wants to tell it. Not as a public accusation, but as a deep dive into Kim's life, the official timeline, and the unanswered questions that never stopped following her story. And if 50 Cent is really involved, that adds gasoline, because he doesn't enter stories quietly, he enters to shake the room. Quincy has always moved differently from Diddy's other sons, and people have been noticing it for years. Even during major moments when the spotlight hit the family hard, Quincy wasn't the one out front feeding the noise. That's why some of the wilder internet theories took off, claims that he was protected or playing some kind of double game. But the visible facts don't really support the extreme versions, especially because he was seen showing up with the family at trial. So most people treat the most dramatic theories as a reach.
An enemy that has a position of influence in your child's life, and knowing that that person sends you notes and messages every now and then, if you don't do this, if you don't do that, that boy is dead.
And the core point people keep circling back to is simple. Quincy stayed mostly silent about his mom. No sit-down interviews, no public blaming, no viral speeches, just quiet. And now the timing is what has everyone leaning in. Because if a full doc is actually being built, focused on Kim, the tension behind the scenes, and the unanswered questions around what happened, that means this isn't just gossip anymore. It's a rollout, a narrative, a spotlight. And once a spotlight hits a story like this, the internet doesn't let go.
And Quincy's missing.
Quincy's missing. Oh. And lastly,
After he was questioned by the feds.
after.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was in witness protection right now.
On November 15, 2018, Kim Porter was found unresponsive at her Los Angeles home. A family member reportedly found her in bed, and by the time help arrived, it was too late. She was 47, and the shock was instant.
A shocked and devastated Diddy spotted at the home where his ex suddenly and mysteriously died. Her good friend Kimora Lee Simmons appearing inconsolable at the house, 47-year-old Porter's body found after a desperate call to 911.
EMS 14, respond with engine 76 on scene of the cardiac.
The official record later listed lobar pneumonia as the cause, and the medical examiner ruled it natural. On paper, that sounds clean, but in public discussion, the timeline is what keeps people stuck. Reports say she first complained about a sore throat around November 7th. Then by November 12th, she reportedly had a fever. Fast progression. And that speed is one reason people still ask whether every detail was ever fully explained. According to reports, she tested negative for flu and strep. She was treated with antibiotics and other medication. Her family later said that by November 14th, she seemed to be improving, temperature back down, and she was even well enough to get a massage that night. That's the detail people can't shake.
We know that Kim, and it's in the this is in the documentation, shout out the paperwork. He looked in the paperwork and it said Kim received a massage for about an hour when she's supposed to have full-blown pneumonia. Who gives somebody a massage when they got pneumonia? And do we know whether she used that baby oil or not for that massage? It makes you say,
If she was dealing with serious respiratory issues, why bring someone into the home that late in the week? And another point people mention, the identity of the massage provider was never widely clarified publicly, which left room for speculation, fair or not. The coroner's report also noted no history of substance or alcohol abuse and no known underlying health issues. By most accounts, she was considered healthy, which only kept the questions alive. Not long after, one of the first people to publicly challenge the official explanation was Kim's ex and Quincy's biological father, Al B. Sure, Al has repeatedly said he saw Kim not long before she passed and that she didn't present as seriously ill to him. Over time, he became more vocal about not believing the official explanation matched what he thought he knew.
Basically.
Do you believe that she died of pneumonia?
Absolutely not.
Why? What evidence do you have?
She was in the best of health. We just saw each other prior to her passing. We were actually celebrating our son's new Netflix Christmas special, and she was doing just fine. In fact, we were all at the event together at Netflix in the lobby. Sean, myself, the children, all having a great time. And I'm, grabbing Sean like, what? And she's in the back going, stop. There's no, like I said, this is not marketing for me. I'm living this life. And the only reason I wanted to tell the story, Kurt, was very specifically because I was ignored. There was the most expensive PR campaign against me to shut me down.
Are you concerned that he still has power outside of incarceration?
Remember, I'm the only one who spoke up, and I'm the only one left alive. So this is not about a scared thing, It's just time to reveal the truth. I mean, it is what it is. I went through many, many years of scrutiny and being dragged face first on the concrete, being called.
In July 2020, he posted an old video of himself crying and wrote a caption describing how hearing the news hit him. In that same post, he suggested he didn't believe it happened the way it was summarized publicly, and he tied that belief to how strong and healthy he felt she looked around that period, including family milestones they just celebrated for Quincy. He ended the post with a hashtag that many people interpreted as a shot at the public tributes that followed. The post didn't stay up long. Al later deleted it and said Quincy reached out because the post was triggering. But even after deleting it, Al didn't fully walk back his stance. He kept implying the official story still didn't add up to him. And once that delete happened, the internet did what it always does. It wrote its own version. Some commenters speculated Quincy was pressured to step in. Others claimed someone wanted the situation controlled, or wanted distance between Quincy and his biological father. None of that is confirmed, but it shows how fast the narrative shifts when people sense behind-the-scenes influence. Through all of it, Al stayed planted. He kept signaling that he wasn't going to soften his stance just because it made people uncomfortable. And then in November 2021, he posted a throwback photo with Kim and Quincy and added a caption that reignited the debate all over again. He referenced a message he said Kim once sent him. Life imitating art, art imitating life. Then he layered it with more hints. He suggested there was more she told him privately than the public ever heard. He framed it like she was dealing with something serious behind the scenes, and according to him, he urged her to contact authorities. In the comments, he went even heavier, basically telling people, you wouldn't believe what she went through, without spelling it all the way out. That's why the post hit the way it did, not because it was specific, but because it sounded like he was pointing at a bigger story he wasn't fully saying out loud. And then things took another turn. Not long after that period, Al ended up hospitalized for a medical emergency that, in public discussion, never got a simple explanation. Later, he said he collapsed unexpectedly while working in the studio. He described doctors being surprised by how many serious issues showed up at once. What followed was extreme. Al has said he spent close to 2 months in a coma, and when he woke up, he shared that he went through major procedures, including an organ transplant, blood transfusions, intubation, and time on a ventilator. It was life-threatening, and fans were genuinely shaken. After that, social media started comparing timelines and building theories. Those comparisons aren't proof of anything, but they show how quickly suspicion spreads when the public already feels like a story has missing pages.
You were in that coma in 2022. You had the liver transplant, you had the tracheotomy, I mean, all that stuff that went on.
Multi-system organ failure.
Yeah,
60.
Right. Have they figured out what happened yet?
We will.
No, I mean, have the doctors medically, like, what happened to you?
Yeah,
because you just collapsed, right?
Yeah, so, just mysteriously out of the blue, which we do talk about in the book.
Yeah.
If you actually knew what they did to me, there was a bounty on my head, there was a bunch of stuff.
So do you think specifically then that Sean Diddy Combs or people affiliated with him did something to you that caused you to have multi-organ failure?
I believe this to be the case, yes. Absolutely.
Wow.
My first time.
Still, the key point is this. Even after everything he went through, Al didn't go quiet. He kept posting, he kept hinting, he kept speaking like he believed there was more to Kim's story than what the official record says. And over time, the pressure around his claims kept building, until mainstream media gave him a bigger stage. Earlier this year, Al sat down for an interview tied to his memoir, and the clips traveled fast. At one point, he looked straight at the camera and hit people with, "Do you believe me now?" And that's when the conversation escalated again. Because in that interview, he repeated that he never accepted the natural framing the way it was presented publicly. He also suggested he believes his own medical emergency happened in the shadow of him speaking out, not as a proven fact, but as his personal conviction about what he thinks was happening around him. He even suggested he suspects something shifted in 2022 after he got louder, but that's his belief, and viewers can't verify it from clips alone. But once claims like that are said on camera, they become rocket fuel. Social media clipped it, reposted it, argued over it, and the entire discussion around Kim's story got louder. Because now it wasn't only fans speculating, it was a public figure repeating on record that he doesn't buy the official explanation. Right now, it's still unclear where things stand between Al and Quincy, whether they've fully repaired their relationship, or whether Al is connected to the rumored doc. But plenty of people are hoping there's some kind of alignment, because Al has consistently been one of the most visible voices calling for deeper answers. And that matters, especially if a doc really is in motion. Because a doc like this doesn't have to accuse anyone to shake a room. All it has to do is lay out timelines, contradictions, missing details, and unanswered questions, and let the public react. That's also why the 50 Cent angle keeps making people lean in. Whether you like him or not, he has a reputation for dragging old industry narratives back into the light, especially when power, image, and silence are part of the story. And that ties into the bigger frame people keep bringing up: control. In online discussion, there's a growing belief that Diddy's world operated on tight control. Who spoke, who stayed quiet, and who stayed close. Some past accounts have portrayed Kim's relationship era as complicated and heavily managed. That portrayal is part of what keeps people questioning how much influence existed behind the scenes long before more recent headlines. And now with Quincy stepping into the rumors and a possible doc on the way, people think the story could be reframed in a way we haven't seen before. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Kim Porter's story deserves another look? And what do you think Quincy's silence really means? Grief, protection, strategy, or something the public hasn't clocked yet? Because that's the part people can't ignore. Silence can be a shield, or it can be a countdown. And if a doc really is being built around Kim's story, it doesn't matter what anyone believes. What matters is what gets shown, what gets left out, and what questions it forces back onto the table. So drop your thoughts in the comments. If you want updates the second this doc becomes real, like, subscribe, and share, and keep your eyes on the timeline. I'll catch you in the next one.